You're such a loser. You are such a loser, and you're so half-assed.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me take away with
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, and Chris Coulter, CB Coacher Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. We're obviously going to be recapping week 3. We're going to be previewing week 4. We're also going to be, of course, giving our hots, locks, and summit savings. And then we're also going to talk about which undefeated team is most likely to fall first. The Eagles, Dolphins, and 49ers are all still 3-0. And we're going to talk about whether it's this week, whether it's down the road, which team most likely to fall first. But before we get into any of that, we have to start with the summits and plummets of the week. And Danny usually gets us kicked off. So if Danny just wants to go, then he can.
Yeah, I'll get us kicked off. So, the summit of the week is that double summit this week. Starting off with number 1, the Pittsburgh Steelers are first place in the AFC North, and they will win the AFC North. Like I said.
How why are you lying? Wait. Because your conference championship game pick is Ravens-Jags. So how are the Steelers going to win the division?
We win the division and then lose in the playoffs. Big trust.
You're such a loser. You are such a loser, and you're so half-assed into your own team. It's unreal.
Matt Canada
And how
lose in the playoffs.
and how would y'all
wait?
How would y'all be number 1 in the North over the Ravens?
Because the Ravens lost a conference game where we did not lose a conference game.
Oh yeah, y'all get more respect for getting your ass beat by a team that's not in the conference than the Ravens losing in the conference game. What a thing.
That's my summit. And my summit number 2 is that the Philadelphia Phillies are 1 game away from clinching the number 1 wildcard seed, hosting a home playoff series back in Philadelphia. We're repping the Philly stuff. Got the World Series shirts on. Come on.
We suck. That's the reality of it. This team is going to lose every single game for the rest of the year. There will be no playoffs, I'm afraid.
What do you think? We're going to get hit by an asteroid and the playoffs are going to be halted?
No, they're just going to start Aaron Nola for the rest of the way. And, yeah, they're going to take turns between him and Lorenzen, and it's just going to be very, very bad. But, Chris, if you wanted to provide a summit or plummet next, and then I can go after you go.
Well, my summit is Breonna Stewart winning MVP. That was cool. And the voting went exactly how I thought it should have gone. Breonna Stewart first, Alyssa Thomas second, A'ja Wilson third. I thought it was dope. And then, like I said, I was just watching her play the other day, so it's cool to just see that award come through. I know it's probably not, it's of course not talked about as much as NBA, but MVP and WNBA, I mean, it's less players and less teams, but I think it still means a lot to be the best player in a league. It still means a lot. So shout out to Stewie. That's my summit.
Yeah, and A'ja got depoy, so that's dope. She's still getting her hardware, regardless of how people feel about the whether she should have won or Thomas should have won, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
but,
I think Alyssa had a great case. She had a great year too. She did all triple. It was kind of like a Russell Westbrook year, but she just didn't get the MVP. Like similar to where it's like she could have got it because of that too.
It happens. I mean, like when with the Liberty and Ace's record being far and beyond everyone else, it's a little it's difficult, but nonetheless, all great years from those ladies. My summit is when is the summit? Oh, the summit is this Eagles run game. I mean, maybe a biased summit, but their run game has been phenomenal. I mean, nearly 200 rushing yards. 200 rushing yards the last game. I believe nearly 200 the game before. They've really gotten back to that 2021 style. It's good to see, and it's setting up the pass really well. Now, the only predicament I find myself in with this is so, of course, I would say 80% of this is that this offensive line is just taking bodies and taking them to the hot dog stand. But what I don't also get is that Kenneth Gainwell got, I believe, one less carry than DeAndre Swift, and he had 90 less yards. So I don't get exactly. I don't know if it's a coincidence of they're drawing up blitzes when Gainwell is in. I don't know if Swift is just hitting the hole harder, which was his only weakness in Detroit, which seems to be just non-existent. I mean, I guess when the rushing lanes are that big, you can't miss them. So, um, yeah, that is definitely my summit. I mean, what it's good to know that of course you want to try to win through the air, but like all else fails, you know, you have that to go off of. So I can loop it around real quick for uh the plummet, and I usually use this time to talk about the Thursday night game. Um I would say I don't really I don't know if there's anything bad about these two teams going up. I guess I could say the plummet is the Packers if they aren't like back. Like if Aaron Jones and Kim Watson and Bakhtiari aren't healthy for this Lions game, then they're already gonna be behind with those guys. They're gonna be really far behind without them. And you beat three mediocre teams already in the Saints. It took a miraculous comeback, but you beat the Saints. You kind of choked. You blew the lead to the Falcons, but you also got that Week 1 win against the Bears. So it's been a little bit of an up and down start for the Packers, but I really want to see if they can get healthy, can they compete with this Lions team that's coming into their house? They're coming off a good win against Atlanta, and it seems like the Lions kind of just have it figured out. The Packers are still like in the middle of that as a younger team, a super cheap team. So plummet that they're not healthy, but I'm still excited for this game. I just wanted to get it out the way. Chris, did you want to get the plummet and then we can go to the week 3 recaps?
Well, I'm sure we'll get to it in the week 3 recap. But I mean, just what even was that display of football? What was that after quarter 2? I just don't know what team that was. I don't know what quarterback that was. I think Greg Roman might have snuck back into on the field and may have started calling plays again. I don't know what that was, but plummet is the Ravens L. I just don't understand that. That was just a mess. And then L refs too. But yeah, that's my point.
L refs, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, L Jackson. Just not even Lamar
L,
anymore. Just L Jackson. Dude,
L
what are you even
Jackson,
doing? What are you
Lon Larbaugh,
Lay Flowers, because
Lay
I think he turned into Kadarius Toney the second half of the game. Dude could not catch the ball. He didn't even want to catch it. I'm like, yeah, he lost me.
The
But it's
worst
okay.
part
He's
about
young.
it all, the worst part about it all is that Gardner Minshew got the start and won. So now it looks like, oh, were they better with Gardner Minshew?
Oh
But
my, yes.
I hate
hate that.
2 years ago, he started a game in place of Jalen Hurts before he was like, Jalen Hurts. And he starts the game like 11 for 11 on dink and dunks. And after that 11 for 11 start, he threw like 3 passes. And people are like, "Oh, should they continue with Gardner Minshew?" We played the pre-Sauce Gardner Jets, dog. No, like it was so bad. And then now people are like, some people are calling for the start, and by people I mean people of a certain skin color, stupid people of a certain skin color, may I add. But we can move on to our week 3 recaps. Any games that anybody wanted to talk about? Danny, you haven't talked in a while. What's a game you can talk about that Steelers game if you want? I thought it was pretty interesting, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, week 3 recap. I think one of the best games, most controversial games to talk about. Start off with Monday Night Football. Is the Rams versus the Bengals, the Super Bowl rematch that everyone wanted to see, except no more Jalen Ramsey. T. Higgins didn't get to face mask Jalen Ramsey 40 yards downfield. So, One thing we need to talk about, this game was so crucial, and it came down to the refs blowing a call. That really kind of impacted the game hugely. It was a low-scoring game. The Bengals somehow have a good defense still after trading away like some of the good pieces. Sean McVay is a wizard. Like I said this back before the season started. Somehow Sean McVay is going to be Sean McVay and get them to be okay. So this game was really fun to watch. Joe Burrow became Joe Burrow like 2.5 games in. He just said, "Fuck it, Jamar Chase is over there. Let's find him and let Jamar Chase cook."
Yeah, Chase had a pretty baller game. 12 catches, 141 yards. Joe Burrow, 26 for 49, 259 yards. No passing touchdowns and a pick. I mean, sub 60% throwing. I mean, he didn't have the greatest game, but I'll tell you, he did look a lot better than he normally does with that calf injury. But yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, like not like the most beautiful win for the Bengals, but good to get one on the board. Yeah, Sean McVay is a wizard. Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua and Tyler Higbee, I must add, are like really holding this offense afloat, especially with a run game that is non-existent entirely. I mean, I'm going to look at some stats here. I mean, we're talking 71 rushing yards. It says 5.5. No, it says 5.5 yards per attempt. That's not really what you're getting. Like that's not really like that run game just can't take over a game, I must say. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Chris, did you have any words on Rams Bengals, or did you have a game you wanted to head towards?
You should speak about Colts Ravens.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll get to that at some point, but I mean, I don't want to live through that. But I will say, I did watch the Bengals and Rams game. I don't know. I like seeing Jamar Chase kind of have a big game. Like I did. I was waiting on him to have a breakout. I thought he was due for a touchdown. I really did. I said that, but I was wrong. But I like seeing him play well. I like seeing Joe Burrow play better. You could tell he's still hurt though, and I hate calf injuries in any sport are just rough, especially for a quarterback have to drop back on that leg so much. It's just difficult. And I mean, respect to him for gutting it out, but also you just got paid. You might want to make sure but I think the Bengals should make sure he's good and not just try to get a win. I get going down 0-3. I do get that. I get the importance of that. So I'm just happy that it all worked out for him. Yeah. And I can go into the game one and talk about if you want.
Have at it. All you. Floor's yours.
Unreal. Just an unreal show of just unserious franchise, unserious coaching. We got the unserious Harbaugh. That's what we did. No, I'm kidding. It was. I think the Colts Ravens was actually a pretty good game. I mean, the Ravens had control of it in the beginning. A lot was clicking. It looked really good. Everything looked good. Lamar was running and throwing. Offense looked good. Looked fluid. And it kind of slowed down. And I think too. I do enjoy the aggression of the Ravens going for fourth downs. Like I do enjoy that, but sometimes I think it's just like you just shouldn't do it. I think you fall into that bad habit of we can pick it up almost every time, and then you can put yourself in a bad situation. Or just give the Colts a chance to get 3 on a drive where they probably wouldn't have drove it 60 yards to get 3. Just kind of giving teams an easy out, and I think the Ravens do that a lot. But shout out to the Colts though. I had no thought they were going to win. Not a chance. And they proved me wrong. Shout out to Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's great. I mean, he did enough. He did enough to win a game, and I can respect that. And I think the Ravens defense is pretty good. Of course, they're banged up, but I think the defense is still pretty good. So shout out to the Colts for playing better than the Ravens, outlasting the Ravens. I do want to say that there was 100% pass interference on Zay Flowers at the end of the game, 100%. But the way he played in fourth quarter overtime, he damn near didn't deserve to get the call anyway. So I can respect it. On to the next one. But a good win by the Colts. And yeah, I can't wait to Anthony Richardson's back. I did want to see Richardson versus Lamar really bad, but
yeah, that would have been a nice little classic. Danny, you have any words to add on to that Ravens Colts rant?
With every L comes a W, and the W is the Philadelphia Phillies just walked it off and have secured their spot in the playoffs. No more stressing.
Nice little week. But when baseball season ends, I'm gonna try to find all the compilations of Phillies interrupting our show to get a big win.
They'll interrupt our show next week. They play on Tuesday.
Of course they do.
Well, we'll be good. We clinched the playoff spot. We clinched the home. We're good. We'll be good. Unless Trey Turner does something amazing. But because then we got to talk about it. But yeah.
Shout out to Trey.
So hype for that. I am hype. Not your usual reaction you'd get out of me with big Phillies games, but it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. It's time to take care of business. Time to win the World Series this time. Unless we meet the Astros again, then
Philadelphia is done being
a
spectator in these championships. It's time to win.
Danny, what does any Philadelphia sports team have to do with you, my friend?
Eagles are nothing to me.
Oh, so they're nothing to you. They're nothing to you? Okay. Just remember that. You own a NFC Championship game shirt, and you try to claim you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
Talk about Ravens Colts. I'm sick of this.
I'm not talking about Ravens Colts. I'll pick another game. One game.
You don't want to talk about Ravens? You don't want to talk about Ravens Colts? Damn.
Nah, Gardner Minshew does not deserve the time of day. And the one thing that we'll talk about though is the Cleveland Browns. What Jim Schwartz has done to that defense is phenomenal. Zadarius Smith is the perfect edge rusher to pair with Myles Garrett. It's scary. The Steelers, surprisingly, with 12 points, have scored the most points on the Bengals on the Browns defense this year. Mind blowing as it is, that defense might allow 17 points tops. I don't know what the Chiefs would score against this defense because this defense is legit.
Yeah, that's a Darius Smith pickup. That was perfect to pair along like opposite side of Myles Garrett. I thought the Ravens gonna get him for a second. I really did think so. I'm like, oh, that'd be nasty. But him over there with Myles Garrett, that's unreal. It's so much pressure coming from both sides. That's tough. That's so tough.
So some games, that Brown, me and Dana were talking a little bit about it before we started recording. The Browns and Steelers have like almost the same burden, that their defenses are amazing and they're led by the two best defensive players in the game. And then you just got these offenses that are so hot and cold. It's unreal. I wanted to quick run down a lot of games that I didn't really care about. Not care about, but it's like you don't really need a recap on it. Bills Washington. Sam Howell looked like a fifth-round draft pick. That's for sure. Sammy Sosa. Patriots Jets. Zach Wilson is still the quarterback of that football team. I do not expect them to win games. Broncos Dolphins. If you would have told me Miami won today by 50, I would have assumed you were talking about the University of Miami.
Without Jalen Waddle, by the way. Without Jalen Waddle, he did not play.
Without Jalen Waddle, without Jalen Ramsey. Lions Falcons. Falcon, I mean, I don't know. Lions seem like the superior team through 3 weeks. Desmond Ridder just does not seem it. Like Danny talked about Browns, Titans, but I was just saying that Titans team is abysmal. And the fact that Chargers lost to them made me very concerned until they won this week, which is probably going to be the game I'm going to talk about. Bears, Chiefs.
Chris was wrong. Yeah.
Who? I guess you could say the Bears are getting to know this losing feeling all too well.
And hey, Tone, I was almost right. I did say if it's not 13-10, it's probably going to be 45-10.
Yeah, you were pretty close. But I will say this: the Bears losing, trust me, it will never go out of style. Okay, enough Taylor Swift puns. I have two games I do want to talk about. Talk about Cowboys, Cardinals. More so on the Cardinals side of things because the Cowboys get enough coverage. The Cardinals, I think y'all can all agree with me on this. Have they just not been that bad? Like they've been in the driver's seat for all 3 games that they've played. They could have realistically beat Washington. They should have beat the Giants. I'm actually for a team that has no expectations, I'm kind of upset that they didn't do that because you had it. You dominated that game and they ended up blowing at the end. And then you beat the Cowboys, who a lot, including myself, thought they were the best team in football going into week 3. I really thought they were the best team in football. but I was tricked. Like always, every year I'm tricked. I'm like, this team's legit. I have to worry about them. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not going to count them out, obviously, after this 1 week, but hey, the Cardinals look solid, and Josh Dobbs looks like the perfect bridge until Kyler Murray is back. If he can, Danny, do you remember exactly when Kyler Murray tore his ACL? What was it, week 8, 9 of last year, something like that? No, it was a little later.
Kyler Murray will be back.
I know he'll be
Like
back. I'm trying to
be
think
back
of a
like week 5.
timeline.
They're saying week 5 he's gonna be back, dude.
If he's back by week 5, let's look at this upcoming
Hey,
week.
if he's back by week 5,
Cardinals.
Jets
Okay,
make a call.
I would say the Cardinals aren't beating the Niners in my opinion. So they'll be 1-3 with potentially Kyler coming back. They have a shot. I 100% believe they have a shot at the 17. Like very dark horse. I'm not trying to be like bold or anything. I think a lot of people would also see this vision. Their defense, Jonathan Gannon. This defense looks new. This looks perfect for the guys that you have. And Kaiser White, obviously, balling, Eagles legend. Second game, or did y'all have anything to say about Cardinals Cowboys, or whether it's about the Cowboys or the Cardinals or the game in general?
Two things about them. So with the Cardinals, if Kyler Murray is back week 5, if I'm the Jets, I'll make a call, see if I can get Josh Dobbs. Probably not gonna happen, but if you can do something, get something. And then also about the Cowboys, this is kind of related to the Cowboys, also kind of related to the Falcons. I've seen somewhere that they're interested in Kyle Pitts, and I wouldn't be mad at it. So I just want to say those two things.
Yeah, he'd be a really good get. Dak's a very accurate quarterback, and I know that might get laughed at because of the screenshot of the interception he threw. I get Dak's vision. He just didn't throw it right. Good decision, bad throw, which usually it's good throw, bad decision with most quarterbacks.
He is accurate. Even all the hate I give, he's very accurate. He is.
Yeah, and what you said about Jets calling for Josh Dobbs' interest, I wonder how the Cardinals will look at this because it's like, okay, Kyler's been a little injury prone. We're, of course, going to roll with Kyler, but Dobbs was okay. Maybe we want to hold on to him. But at the same time, the Jets could really use anyone that's not Zach Wilson right now. So, yeah. Danny, anything you want to add about Cards Cowboys?
The Cardinals simply outplayed them. They outcoached them. Jonathan Gannon outcoached the shitty coach, so it's not really that great a job.
Trash beats garbage. That's what happened.
It was a Spider-Man meme, but in a bad way. It was like I don't even know who.
The saying, real recognize real, mid recognize mid.
Imagine the Spider-Man meme with like Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man disrespect is crazy. Ant-Man stray on the show, not something I was looking forward to tonight, I'm afraid. So, hey, last thing I want to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Craziest thing about while we're on this topic, someone said when I grew my beard out, I look like Tom Holland with a beard.
I don't see it. You look like Jake Short.
I don't either. You see me when I was like 15 still, but so I do not look like that kid.
Yes, you do. You look just like Jake Short. It's weird. So you look like Jake Short. Lil D looks like Jake Short, but you two don't look like each other. It's very weird. It's complicated. You also still look like Dory, in my opinion. That was a classic, man. The Dory jokes were funny.
Okay, Chris, I took a picture with Dory. I took a picture in Walmart with like a inflatable, like a stuffed animal Dory. And they said we looked alike because we had the same color eyes.
Yeah, and y'all have freckles on the nose, bro. It's funny. But okay, moving on to football, and so the Chargers. I was about to say something crazy. The Chargers hang on to beat the Vikings after another Brandon Staley disaster class. Unfortunately, Mike Williams is lost for the year. But that means we'll get more reps from Josh Palmer. We're going to get most likely more 2 tight end sets from Parham and Everett. Johnston is going to have to, be plugged in as the deep threat early. And apparently Keenan Allen's back. 18 catches, 215 yards, threw a touchdown. How about it? And how about my guy, Justin Herbert, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, only quarterback through 3 weeks with 0 turnovers. on 47 pass attempts. He completed 40 of them. That is good for where are we at? I don't know the percentage off the top of my head. I don't know why some. Oh, his rating was 123.8. When I was looking at Burrow's stat line, I guess his passer rating was 59.8. That wasn't his completion percentage. That would have been unreal. I hope that wasn't the case and these stats are just inconsistent. But yeah, I was very pleased with the Chargers offense, at least when the play calling was good. That 4th and 1 in your own territory, I'm not even mad that Staley wanted to go for it. I'm upset at the play call. Why run it? Your quarterback's 6'5", 240. Just run the tush push. Run a normal QB sneak. He's probably going to get it. It's fine. So, I don't know. I was impressed with the offense. I'm once again impressed with the Vikings offense. Jordan Addison is growing every single week. Justin Jefferson is proving he is the best weapon in the NFL, arguably. And Kirk Cousins, he's balling. He's getting that draft stock up. So that's probably a good thing for the Vikings. Maybe by like week 6, right before that trade deadline, hopefully, you call up the Jets, be like, hey, you want this guy on this expiring contract? Cough up, the good draft picks so that we can build around Caleb will. So very pleasant by my Golden Boys performance. Very impressed by Kirk's performance. Anything y'all wanted to add about Chargers, Vikings, and this insane mid-off?
Free
We're all
Jettas,
good?
man. That's it. Free Jettas. That's all.
No. Hold
Free.
on to Jettas until Caleb gets there. Now we talking. Now we talking crazy business.
That's the only place I'd rather see him than the Falcons right now. You just said that. You put that into the Vikings now. Besides
Those
the
are
Falcons,
two good. Those are two very good
I
situations.
would love to see Caleb
I'm
on the Falcons.
I low-key put that in his head. I put that in his head.
Lions.
What, the Vikings?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Tank for
You
Caleb.
didn't put that in my head. I got it from Matthew Sponhour's TikTok, you fool.
Call me
I got
a
it from
freak before a fool.
You foolish freak. All right, so we have to move on. We're legally required to move on to talk about week 4. And did anyone, Danny, usually kick us off, man? Can you kick us off again with a week 4 preview? 1 or 2 games, 2 or 3 games you're excited to talk about or excited to say?
Week 4 has the best Thursday night football game yet. Packers, Lions, and it's going to be a good game. Last time they played was week 18 of 2022. And the Lions bested the Packers to hold them out of a playoff spot. But this time, Jordan Love is not going to let it happen. Jordan Love will beat the Lions in convincing fashion. And Jordan Love will prove that the Packers are the kings of the North still.
I like that take. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about your Saints-Packers video, and I'm watching. I'm like, damn, they're down 17-0. It's looking bad. And hey, Jordan Love, and that offense gets going in the 4th. But yeah,
all it took was 11 minutes.
Yeah. No. I think they might have scored at the very start of the quarter. I have no clue. But Love and the boys, they showed up in the 4th. Not always there when you call, but always on time.
All love, no hatred.
Facts. All love, no car. But did you want to, if you want to keep, steamrolling with your games, or do you just want to rotate? Doesn't matter.
I'll roll with the second game. I think the second game of the week is another in-divisional matchup. This is the week of division matchups. Dolphins, Bills. This game is going to decide who wins the AFC East. I think the Dolphins win the game. Jalen Waddle's back. They dropped a 70-piece on the Dolphins on the Broncos. Don't be surprised when the Bills come out firing though, because the Dolphins are gonna be like riding the high, and they're like, yeah, we just dropped 70, and then Sean McDermott can come and fucking punch them in the mouth. They're not gonna be ready.
So what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a Bills hot start and then Dolphins still gonna win?
Yep. Tyreek Hill's gonna burn every corner in the league, dude. He also hot. Not even a hot take. Did y'all peep what he said today?
About
what he wants to be after football?
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're not talking
He
about
said,
that. He's on his Antonio Brown.
when he retires, he's going to be Jason Love.
That's so insane.
Or Mr.
That's
Marcus,
crazy.
they say.
Yo, all right, man. About the football game here. I'm actually looking forward to that game as well. I'm not big on quarterback head-to-head deciding who is better. But like I said, Twitter is a fun place. After this game, my eyes are going to be glued to the app. Unreal. Like the Josh Allen versus Tua Tagovailoa fans. It's going to be great because Tua is by far having the best season of any quarterback right now. Josh Allen started out week one insanely rough, but he has done nothing but been Josh Allen since then. So, yeah, I'm also looking forward to it. Chris, you got any words on Bills Dolphins, who you predicted both of these teams to lose last week?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know why I was hating so much on the Dolphins. I'm literally crazy, but I'm excited to see this game though. I think the Bills have. I mean, the Dolphins have the most high-powered offense currently, but I think the Bills' offense is pretty high-powered too. So I want to see how the game goes. I'm just excited to see like what like way the game goes. Like, is it going to be a shootout or is it going to be like a 20-13, 20-16? You know, somewhere around there. I'm hoping for a shootout.
Like the first matchup last year, like that first matchup.
Right. I'm hoping for a shootout. I'm hoping for some keep me glued to the TV because it's Diggs against Hill. It's just Waddle's back. You know, I think it's just a lot of playmakers going to be on the field for offense on both sides. So I'm just excited to see just how the game goes. I want it to be a pretty high scoring one.
I'll tell you what, Gabe Davis had a pretty good game against the Commanders as well. I'm looking at. Never mind. I thought, wow, just showed him a casual. I thought I stopped watching after he scored. I figured he was balling. No, he had that one catch for 33 yards and a touchdown. Just exposed myself as a casual. Diggs had a good game. James Cook had a good game. Unreal. Wow. He had 98 rushing yards, 15 carries. That ain't bad. Not bad at all. And then, of course, Allen was Allen. He had a pick, but they were dominant all day. Can't complain about much. But yeah, definitely a fan. Danny picked 2 bangers. Chris, I was going to wear my Johnny Manziel jersey today, but then I realized Browns are playing the Ravens, and that's highly disrespectful to you. But you can go with the games that you want to talk about, whether it's 2, 3, 1, whatever it may be.
I wouldn't be mad. Johnny football, he was the guy. I wouldn't be mad.
He's legend.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Ravens and Browns, but I'm kind of like in a scared way because like I tell Danny all the time, every time I'm like, TJ Watt's the scariest person over there. Well, now not only do you have Myles Garrett, who's an absolute psycho, then you got Zadarius Smith, who may be more psycho than him. I'm terrified for Lamar this week, but I mean I'm excited for that game. I think we can still win. I think we can. The defense just has to play a little bit better. Giving up 22 points isn't bad, but giving up 22 to the Colts without Anthony Richardson is not great. So I'm just looking for a bounce back game. So I'm kind of looking forward to that one for that reason alone. And also, so I'll leave that one there. The second game I'm looking forward to, you said a mid off. I think you might forget. This might be a under mid off, like an ass off. Maybe. You got the Broncos versus the Bears.
Oh my God. This is gonna be yo. Okay. I don't know if y'all see these TikToks, but it says like it'll be a picture of like Harrison Butker, and it'll be like special teams, and then it'll be like special teams.
Bro, they said the game's gonna end 7-7. Justin Fields gonna throw 2 touchdowns. So he throwing one and he throwing a pick 6.
Hey, I'm 100% prepared for this game.
Nothing. All I gotta say is
100%.
Nothing beats the Broncos Colts game last year on Thursday Night Football. That might have been the worst.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. So last year, like you said, there was that Broncos Colts game that was horrible. The week before that was Commanders Bears.
That was bad too. Yo, low key, that was a good game.
That was a horrible game. The game was awful.
I know, but the way it ended with the ball, like So he threw the out route. Like it was at least like the game came down to something. Like it was still a stink. It was a slot fest, but like at least it came down to a close ending.
The Broncos game came down to something too. Isn't that the game where KJ Hamler slammed his helmet?
Yeah, that was when Russ threw the ball out the back of the end zone to end the game.
So you have the two losers of the worst games of all time, and they get to play each other. So Chris, can you actually give like? I know we're kind of making fun of it, but why exactly are you looking forward to this game?
Because
this is going on Reels ASAP too.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. Because something has to give, bro. Like something has to happen. Russell Wilson has to figure. Or it doesn't. But Russell Wilson has to figure out how to play football again, or he should have just went to the MLB because this mess he's doing right now is unreal. He's free Jerry Jeudy, by the way. But also, last week, I have faith in Justin Fields. And it gives me another chance to have faith in him again. I hate the Bears so much. I love saying it. I really hate the Bears, but I think he's okay. I do think so. And this is it. This is I'm looking for. This is my chance for Justin Fields to go out there, throw 3 touchdowns. He's gonna throw interceptions. This is what he does. An interception, a rushing touchdown, account for 300 yards. Because the Broncos are the team to do it against. I mean, you can score 70 against them. Just you can do something. Figure it out. So that's really what it's like for me, it's like a something's got to give game. And I tell you every week, it's always a game I want just for narrative, like just to watch for narrative's sake, like, oh, what if this happens? Or like this story's cool. For me, this is the story. Like one of these teams has to do something. Or it could end in a tie, but one of them have to do something.
They said this game is stoppable force versus movable object. Not immovable object versus unstoppable force. Just
this is the game of backup centers, dude. This is bad.
Oh my god.
This is the Costa Kufas versus Eton Thomas. This is nasty.
Like these dudes could not be coming off worse games. Like the Broncos just got 70 hung on their head. They had Mike White out there throwing to Robbie Chosen 70-yard touchdowns. They had Devon A-Chain, who was rostered in less than 50% of fantasy leagues, scoring 51 fantasy points on their dome. Meanwhile, the Bears, no one's even like you would think there are 2 football teams on the field. You would think, okay, the camera is panning to one team the most, and then the other team is the second most. They were third most panned to Taylor Swift, who was sitting with Travis Kelce's mom because, that's a thing.
Because PR, obviously.
Travis Kelce's jersey sales went up 400%. He gained like 300,000 followers on Instagram. And it's got girlies, Swifties learning football. But unfortunately for them, Philly has the best Kelce Swift duo in Jason and DeAndre. So, I love that absolute
stinker.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a club with how much ass is getting thrown around. So
that's what I'm trying to tell you. That it's gonna be an ass off. I'm 100% taking under 20 combined points for the first half. Like 100%, I'm going to take that because
I would literally throw a bet on both just in case. Like it's low. Like in one universe, it's gonna be a masterclass, and then in
that's what I'm saying.
In our reality, the kickers are gonna have a great time. So. But the punters are going to have a great time. I'm just going to talk about one game. Sorry to everyone who wishes we could talk about every single game, but it is simply not possible. I can do a quick little rundown of games I think are not important. Niners are going to stomp the Cardinals most likely. Chiefs are going to destroy the Jets as the Jets they still employ Zach Wilson. So you want to talk about a mid-off. Vikings, Panthers is all 4 undefeated, like all 4 teams that don't have a win are playing each other this week. So there's that. I think the Vikings will get their first win. Steelers, Texans is going to be the game I'm going to talk about, actually. So I'll move on from that. Chargers, Raiders. Chargers should win. Cowboys, Patriots. I think Cowboys win a low-key slugfest. Like the Patriots are very slept on. Browns, Ravens. Another type slugfest. Give me the Ravens and like Lamar going to the locker room to go to the bathroom, come back type beat. Bengals, Titans, perfect time to get your offense together for the Bengals. Get that passing offense together. I got them winning. Rams, Colts. If AR's back, I'm going to go with the Colts. I really like their rushing attack. If not, I think I'm going to go the Rams. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams if AR's not back. Bucks Saints, I'm going to go with the Saints. I trust Carr a little bit more than Mayfield, especially after that performance. Danny already talked about Dolphins Bills. Chris already talked about Broncos Bears. Falcons Jags. Bounce back week for the Jags. Pretty simple. In London, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And then Eagles
No,
Eagles
the big
Commanders, I'm
story-
banned from talking about those games. So
The big story: Tony went to Eagles Commanders last year. It forever ended in a bad game. It's okay. But the big story this Sunday is that Trevor Lawrence will be broadcast as a Toy Story character
yes.
in London.
I'm looking
Yes,
so
I love
much
that.
forward to that.
And
That
I
is
love
gonna be
that.
cool.
I love
I'm
that.
looking forward to that.
Last night they
Did you
did it a
know
little bit too.
that they're doing something similar with, I believe, Roblox in the NHL?
Really?
What?
That's kind of cool. It sounds stupid, kind of, but still kind of cool at the same time.
I
Yeah,
like
so
they're definitely targeting a younger audience, but like
Yeah.
when I was younger, I was just like into football. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with this. Like I don't have a problem with that. I think I love Toy Story. Toy Story is by far one of my favorite like animated movie series ever. So
Top tier.
Well, here's the thing, though. You know how, like, when toy falls, it like kind of falls apart. Are you gonna see like Buzz Lightyear and Trevor Lawrence run into like who are they playing again?
they're playing the Falcons.
Are you gonna see like Trevor Lawrence run into Lorenzo Carter and they like, smack him and fall apart?
I would love to see. I would love to see if like when they're animating the Toy Story part. I would love them to like see them like say time out, and when they go to commercial break, be like Andy's coming, and like they all fall down. I would
That
love
would
to
be
see it.
cool.
I don't know. It's some corny. It's
Yo.
some cheesy, but I would like to see
You
it.
know what else I
And
like?
That-
Kyle Pitt's gonna be so sick seeing toy Calvin Ridley catch more passes than him.
Dude, Kyle
gonna
Pitts
do
is gonna be the dinosaur.
Kyle Pitts is going to be a Dallas
Come
Cowboy.
on, man.
That's what he's going to be.
No,
He gonna be Woody?
I sent you the
Yeah.
tweet. I sent you the tweet. Kyle Pitts is gonna be a chief.
Oh, wow.
No,
Damn.
no,
Two tight end
No.
sets with Kelsey.
No.
GG.
no.
When Kelsey retires,
no,
they're gonna have
no,
a freakazoid of his own.
no. Stop.
Kyle Pitts and
Okay.
Travis Kelsey. GG's.
Okay, let's talk about happy times. Steelers, Texans. I'm interested for this matchup. I told Danny a little bit before we started. I not only believe that the Texans can win this week, but it's going to be a nice little battle. The Steelers' defensive line is awesome because they have TJ Watt, who has 6 sacks this year, tied with the most pressures. I think tied with the most pressures in the NFL. He might have the most, but he's tied with the most forced fumbles with Jalen Carter. Shameless Eagles plug. But I'm interested to see. The Steelers going to get pressure. The Texans were down 4 defensive linemen last week, or 4 offensive linemen last week, and Stroud showed veteran presence already. His pocket presence is very good. I want to see Nico Collins and Tank Dell. I don't want to say this is their first test, but I mean, like Joey Porter's been pretty solid. I want to see Tank Dell and Nico Collins win against him. I also want to see Joey Porter. Like Nico Collins is solidifying himself as a good wide receiver one of the league's best. I think it will be a good test for both Collins and Porter. I want to see. I mean, it probably won't be the week, but the Texans are going to have to be able to run the ball to hopefully set up Stroud. But as he's shown through these first 3 weeks, he don't really need it. Stroud has been locked in. That's why he was one of my favorites coming into this draft. I thought he was underrated athletically, and he kind of showed it a little bit. This could be a really good game. I am picking the Texans to win, but by no means the Steelers are no slouch. This is a game that they could, and I believe Danny and Chris would say they should win. But nonetheless, I'm excited. 2 young quarterbacks I'm fans of, a corner on the Steelers that I'm a fan of, and receivers on the Texans that I'm a fan of. Makes for great matchups. But I got
Patrick
Texans winning.
Peterson is the current leader of interceptions in the NFL all time, active rate.
I need to see Patrick Peterson guard Tank Dell on a go route. I need it like I need air. I gotta see it.
Dude, the young shit. I don't want to say that either, dude.
Tank Dell is-
I need to see it. I gotta see
Danny
it.
said,
Wait,
no,
wait.
sir.
a man named Danny Cole once said that Tank Dell would be CJ Stroud's number 1 option.
But he's not.
Um,
Nico Collins is clearly the number 1 option.
They do have
I
a
did
great
that.
chemistry dancing, though. They do.
What is it,
He leaked your
I
blood.
did say that they would develop this very, very good connection. over
And
the
they
next
have,
couple
and they
years.
have, and that's true. And I'll give you your flowers for that. You definitely show me the light on Tank, though. This is obviously his first breakout game, but he has been progressing through the first 3 games. It's very evident, and Stroud vouched for him to get drafted. So, yeah, I mean, come on, look at this: 5 catches, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. That is
One of the most surprising things.
baller.
I believe Jordan Addison led the league so far in yards of separation per route run. I think he averaged 3.
It could be true. He might also that might be inflated because he got to play the Eagles.
He
So
got to play Josh Job.
Josh Job kind of balled last night though, and so did Reed Blankenship, aka
So,
Elite Milk.
Elite Milk.
Elite Milk.
Wait,
Milk
if he's
Tech.
elite milk, who's spoiled milk? Sidney Brown?
Sidney Brown is mixed.
Taysom Hill.
That's the joke. Spoiled milk.
Carson Wentz is spoiled milk.
Taysom Hill is spoiled milk. He is trash. Absolute.
That
garbage.
boy, blue cheese.
That boy is
He's
a
like 30
he's a quarter
bro.
full back wide running back. Dude just out there playing for fun.
Quarter fullback, wide running
He
back.
loved a
I
game.
like that.
He loved a game.
What even is this guy? He's got grit. Get him off my screen.
All right, so
quarter
we're gonna
full wide back.
We're gonna move on to our last couple of segments for this episode. The first one I want to talk about just real quick. None of these, and they're not going 17-0. None of these teams going 17-0 out of the Niners, Eagles, and Finns. But I wanted to hear y'all perspective. Who do y'all think will fall first? It doesn't have to be this week. It could be this week if y'all think. But what team out of the Dolphins, the 49ers, and the Eagles do y'all think will get their first loss?
I don't think the Eagles lose until week 11 when they play the Chiefs.
Okay. Damn, they are they just gonna low bro us every time they see us? Is that how it is? You just think they're gonna low bro us? Because you're right.
That possibly, but the thing is, I believe that the Eagles game with the Chiefs is the same time that Eagles played the Packers last year, and I picked the Eagles to lose to the Packers last year on the schedule, same week. So I feel like it's the NFL purposely gives them a hard game that week.
It's the script.
We cooked the Packers. So,
but I do think the Niners lose first. I'm gonna read off their schedule for the next few games. I'm
looking at it too.
They got the Cardinals, Cowboys, Browns, and the Vikings, and then the Bengals. There's 3 teams there that could beat the Niners.
I'll assume Cowboys, Browns, Bengals.
Yep. The Bengals should be in full season stride by October 29th.
So, okay, so I think I also go with the Niners from the perspective that I'm kind of banking on this. I'm not by any means saying the Niners are the worst team of these 3. I'm saying they will fall first because of that Cowboys game. What Dallas Cowboys are we going to get that day? I am predicting we are getting the juggernaut 40 bomb in your face, blitzing all day Cowboys. Because if they can get pressure on Purdy, he's not going to be able to get the ball out. And he's shown he's not that good. Well, maybe the stats will show this differently. He looks a little more flustered under pressure. Sorry, Danny, go ahead.
I'll tell you one thing. The Eagles do play the Dolphins on October 22nd. So one team will lose unless they tie on Sunday Night Football in 3 weeks.
So, okay, yeah. So I think the Niners will lose before then. If those 2 teams are undefeated by then, I'm not going to say anything.
Tyreek Hill will be arrested for illicit photos on the internet by then.
Yeah, and Tua, he's going to have some Hawaiian marriage ceremony, unfortunately, that he'll have to go to, and Jalen Waddle wouldn't do that to his Alabama buddies, right? So, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there, and hopefully I am there, but because that's Kelly Green night. So
I'm looking to go to that game as well. The tickets are just $400 right now. So clearly I'm not spending $400 to sit in the nosebleeds when I can go to a bar. I can get drunk for much cheaper.
I can go there, stay sober, and yell at grown men who have no idea I'm there. But Chris, what team did you see getting that first loss?
Okay, so initially I was going to pick the 49ers to get the first loss. It's really because I think they have the worst quarterback out of the three teams. No offense to Brock Purdy, but I mean, it's like
You know ball. No, you know ball
it's
for sure. For
obvious.
sure.
But this is what I will say. I think the Dolphins have a game this week that they can't lose. This Bills game, I think this would be a game that can trick them up. I think Danny said it a little bit earlier about like how they're kind of coming off a high of scoring 70. Like if they don't come out with that same energy, they could easily get down 14-0. But they have an offense that can bring them back from 14-0, of course. But I think this would be not a shocker game, but like a game could catch somebody off guard, and like one of those that like reminds the team like, hey, we're still beatable. We got to get it back, keep it together and not get too high or too low on a W or L. But I think that's a trap game for them, and I think they could lose this week. So I would say the Dolphins, but my heart's saying the 49ers because I think a football team, no matter how good defense is, no matter how good your receivers are, you kind of go as far as your quarterback goes 95% of the time, and just respectfully, he's just the worst one out of three. So, like on those games where it gets slow, you kind of need your quarterback to kind of pull you out of that a lot of times. Like, you need to be able to get your weapons the ball if you're, a 49er fan like a Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, so on and so forth, Kittle, everything else. So, yeah.
I will say this for the Dolphins: if they do escape with the win in Buffalo this weekend, they have Giants, Panthers, so they'll be 6-0 by that point. By the time they face the Eagles, well, I believe the Eagles will also be 6-0, so that's going to be classic. If they win that game, they have the Patriots. I think they can win. And then they have the Chiefs. And I think they play in Germany. I think that's like a 1 a.m. kickoff type thing. I'm not sure. But that's going to be like they have nice little, not rest games, but like very easy games between their big games. Like after that Chiefs games, they got Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Titans, Jets again. And then they kind of finished the season brutal, but I think they'll be fine by that point. They'll have Cowboys, Ravens, Dolphins, and they could beat all those teams. Like it's very possible, but I think like the highest of high games they got to play, like those are tough. They're like you're gonna have to really fight it out. Those in between weeks, a Waddle rest that ankle, Tyreek rest that shoulder injury. You know what, Tua, take this week off. Like I 100% believe they could sit Tua and beat the Panthers. I 100% believe it. The team's stacked. But nonetheless,
Mike White season, baby. It's Mike White season.
And Robbie Chosen season, I'm afraid. So
he's the chosen one. I'm the chosen one. Flowers never picked themselves.
That is a bar. That is a bar from Sanders Rose. So we can move on to the Hots and Locks real quick. Hots and Locks, Summit Savings, and then we can get on out of here. So, I'm gonna pull up the schedule real quick.
My hot take is pretty simple.
Simple hot take. I like it.
My hot take of the week is that the Titans will beat the Bengals.
You have it out for the Bengals. You just admit it. You are our Bengals hater. Everybody needs one. It's hot.
I wouldn't call myself a hater. I'd call myself a truther.
A truther. Same truther who has the Steelers winning the division. So
Derrick Henry has broken 0 tackles this year. The longest time he's ever gone without breaking a tackle. He's bound to break out sometime soon. And he's playing a team that has a poverty D line. Their defense is not good.
That's true.
And I think that the Titans, a team that runs the ball pretty heavily, team with DeAndre Hopkins, Traylon Burks, can threaten the Bengals vertically and can threaten a kind of weak secondary and take advantage of that.
Okay. And what about the lock of the week?
Lock of the week comes down to this. Give me the Chiefs over the Jets. It's going to sound a little crazy because the Jets have good defense. The Chiefs
I don't think so at all.
The Chiefs are just that good.
Well, okay, so real quick before we get to Chris, our Hots and Locks last week. Chris went 0 for 2. I believe I also went 0 for 2. Well, no. I went 1 for 2. I missed on my Lamar one, but Chiefs over Bears. I mean, come on. That's pretty easy. One would say, what would one say? I'm trying to think of a Taylor Swift line. We'll get back to that. And then Danny Danny also went 0 for 2. He picked Falcons in a lock over. No, he picked the Ravens in a lock over the Colts, and then Falcons over Lions by. I think
7.
it says a touchdown, but they didn't win by a touchdown nor win at all. So just putting that out there, how we did last week. Chris, hots and locks, man.
All right. Well, since I'm 0 for 2, I'm going to go and try to repeat, go 0 for 2 again. So my lock for this week is a Panthers victory over the Vikings. You thought they were going to get out of the winless category, but they sure are not going to. Jett is going to have another incredible game. Kirk Cousins is going to have another incredible game. We're going to have a good game, but it's still going to lose to the Panthers. Reasoning?
That's low key the slop fest of the week. Panthers Vikings.
That is, yeah, but at least the Vikings offense looks good.
Yeah. I haven't seen a piece of the Bears look good. I don't even think. I mean, the field looks all right. Soldier Field's nice. But other than that,
Not even. They got robbed. They got robbed of $100,000 worth of equipment.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Wait.
That was just when the Bears was doing a sweep. They was getting everything.
Chris, a side note about Chicago. I heard someone was at a White Sox game and someone got shot like a mile away, and a bullet like went into the stadium and deflected and hit somebody.
What?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Most
I'm
normal Chicago night.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
where I was going. That's exactly where I was going. Most normal.
And they try to make Chicago sound crazier than it is. I mean, it's bad enough, but it's not necessarily Gotham City. But that's what
people make Temple sound like. People make
bro,
you would think the Joker lives around the corner from Temple, dog. Like for real.
Bang, bro. Like literally.
Let's hear the hot take of the week though.
Oh yeah. That was my lock. My bad. So my hot take for the week is that I'm staying with Justin Fields this week. Now, don't worry about it. I'm not giving up on this kid. He's in that category. It's like Justin Fields, Bobo, Cam Reddish. I will not stop.
Justin Fields is not that bad. No.
He just might be.
No.
But I believe him.
He's not that far gone.
Justin Fields this week, hot take, he will account for 300 total yards, rushing and passing, and 3 touchdowns. Now when they win the Bulls, I have no clue. Three touchdowns, three total touchdowns, 300 total yards.
And if he doesn't, we're queuing if a good thing goes bad, it's not the end. Oh.
No, you know what we're doing? We're queuing up Cam Reddish and Bobo highlights and mixing them up with Justin Fields because they're the same person in different Spider-Verse.
All right, Chris, we're on the same wavelength on a lot of things basketball, and I'm ever so slightly there with you still on Cam Reddish, bro. Is over for Bull. I'm sorry, it is over for Bull, bro.
Yachty and destroy Lonely. They thought he didn't care about basketball. Give him a chance to get in the Phoenix Sun and get back with. You saw him working out with KD, right? I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but he was in there. He had to get something good out of
that. Chetty Osman used to work out with LeBron, man. Like,
and look at Chetty Osman making double-figure million a year. Serviceable role player.
Chetty was in the gym with him, KD, Kawhi. He was literally the best.
And you know what he did after that? He started wearing a shooting sleeve. What did it change? Nothing. But he did start wearing it.
Nothing. He got his drip upgraded. All right. So my hot take. By the way, I picked earlier I said Texans over Steelers, but like I'm not gonna make that my hot take if I already talked about it, so I want to kind of go in a different direction. The lock of the week that I want to go with, I'm not gonna lock my own team. That is just a jinx asking to happen. Looking at these games, I'm not highly impressive with any of them, but I'll go Niners over Cardinals. I think that's a pretty easy one. If I lose, then I'm happy. If I'm right, then I'm right. But Niners over Cards feel pretty easy. Hot take, though, for the week. I'm trying to look at any big spreads. You know what? I mean, this isn't really picking a game. Let's see. Dolphins. Not Dolphins. Okay. Hot take of the week. Broncos. Bears. They will combine for more than 50 points. That is my blazing hot take, that they are just both going to have great offensive days. So Bears, Broncos over
Hey,
50
I can support that
and a half points.
because if they get
I'm
50,
I'm in it for a slugfest in a good way.
if two teams, if they can go out there and combine for 50 and a half points, then my hot take is going to cash 100%. Because Justin Fields has to, if they go out there and score 26 points and Justin Fields is 300 total yards and 3 touchdowns, I will be officially giving it. That'd be
Khalil Herbert day.
Ick.
So, last thing to get to is
make some money. Your Summit savings of the week. Let's go. Let's get it kicked off with the best parlay of the week.
Hey Danny, how does it feel to get? Hey Danny, how does it feel to get cut off? I was
very
talking
good.
here. Thank you. Now you may go.
I was leading us to our next segment.
Man, I was getting there. I'm writing.
I was letting you write. I was taking the lead. With.
No, you weren't. I was talking.
But anyway, I'll get kicked off with the first of the 3 parlays. It's going to be 4 different games. It's going to be 4 different first touchdown scores. It's going to be a long shot this week, but it's going to be some crazy money to make if you take it. In the Jaguars-Falcons game, give me Travis Etienne scoring the first touchdown. It's going to be an all 1 o'clock slate. In the Ravens-Browns game, none other than Amari Cooper himself will score the first touchdown.
So you're going first touchdowns.
First touchdown of the game.
Yep. Okay.
Justin Jefferson, who has yet to score, I believe, in a couple games this year.
No, he scored last week.
I said he scored last week, but I think the first 2 weeks he didn't score, right?
No, he did not. No.
He will score first touchdown against the Panthers. And then in Dolphins-Bills, Tyreek Hill will score the first touchdown.
So you're going 4 first touchdown scores. You're trying to make someone a billionaire. Okay. Chris, what's the parlay looking like?
Well, the first part of the parlay is, you guessed it, Justin Fields anytime touchdown scorer. You're right.
Oh my gosh.
Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown scorer as well. Because he's coming off one last week. I think he's gonna try to prove a point. I mean, not try to prove a point. I'm not even gonna say that. They're gonna need him to score because the Browns. I feel like it's gonna be a grinded out game. So I'm picking Lamar for an anytime touchdown. Picking Tyreek Hill for anytime touchdown as well. Because I mean, he's the fastest person I've ever seen in real life. And fourth, I would say Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns.
Mahomes over 2.5.
That's easy money, it looks like. And then so it's a 5-leg parlay. This is the last one. CJ Stroud passing rush yards under because he's paying TJ Watt. And I've said this on here before. He's an unreal person. So yeah, passing rush yards under.
But y'all parlays are super aggressive, so I think I'm gonna have to lean in the same direction. So I'm gonna go. This is all about to be Bills Dolphins. All right. So just like y'all, I'm gonna go Hill anytime. Danny's going first. I ain't that crazy. Hill anytime. I'm gonna go Waddle anytime. I'm gonna go Diggs anytime. I'm gonna go. Gotta get spicy. I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid anytime on my fantasy bet. Dalton Kincaid anytime. And both quarterbacks to hit their over on the yards. And that is my parlay.
That's
Tua
not bad
over
at all. That sounds good.
and Josh over. Hey, I'm predicting a shootout. It could very easily be a 20-16 game like you talked about earlier. But yeah. But nonetheless, that is everything we got for you guys this week. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're watching this on the audio or you're listening to this on the audio platform, make sure you leave a download, leave us a 5-star rating, head over to the YouTube, and, do the vice versa. Do you guys have anything to say before we get on out of here?
No, let's do the outro and let's get it. The NFL has almost done a quarter of the season, which is kind of depressing.
Very depressing. Highly
It
depressing.
happened so fast. Oh, shoot. I didn't really realize that. Not till you put it in bed like that. Dang.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep now. Thanks, guys. All right. AP New Freezer, Culture 2 by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.